Recording.
All right, so we're going to go over some collar and sleeve, and we're going to start off here just with some of the principles and kind of the basics of collar and sleeve. So I'll go ahead and come to my guard, Daniel. And so we'll start off with closed guard. And I'll get my sleeve grip here. I like to fold up the sleeve just a little bit, and then I'll grip here. I try not to put my thumb inside. I'll keep my thumb on the outside. This is a really good grip. Real solid grip. And then, of course, my collar, cross collar. I don't want to be too low. I want to be too high. Right here by the carotid artery is fine. So I play a lot of closed guard, but whenever I do play open guard, I always play, well, I don't always, but typically I'll go to my collar sleeve game. And so I like to be preemptive here when I decide to go to collar sleeve open guard. And so what I mean by that is I don't want to wait for Daniel to open my guard up. Yeah, and then all of a sudden I'm going to try to get collar sleeve. It's too late. If I wait for Daniel to open my guard, go to open my guard again. So if I wait for him to open my guard, I'm in defense mode. I'm going to have to stop his guard pass. So I'm behind. And so whenever I'm in closed guard and I want to go to open guard, I need to make the decision. I need to tell myself, hey, look, it's time to open my guard and go to open guard. As opposed to wait for him to open my guard up and then start to pass. If I wait for him to pass, then I won't be able to play my open guard game. I'll be able to maybe defend, but I don't want to defend. I want to attack. All right? So I need to decide I'm going to open my guard as opposed to waiting for Daniel to open it up and then decide to play open guard. So I'm ready to open my guard here. So I put my feet on the mat. And then I usually will start up with a shrimp, okay? And when I shrimp, I try to bring my knee on the inside here, just like this. And then I'll bring my foot here is on the hip, all right? So this is how I like to start off my open guard here, okay? Now I have to be very, very, very careful here. So he's gripping onto my belt. I have to be very careful that he doesn't come back and put a grip on my foot. Yeah, he starts to stuff my foot down like that, and then he'll start to pass this way. Gotta be very mindful of that. So, because when I have my collar sleeve, he has a free hand here. And so he can start pushing down. Yeah, he can start pushing down here. Maybe he can hook under my leg. Yeah, and maybe start to pass this way. He has a lot of options. So I have to be very, very careful of that. And so what I like to do is I like to put a lot of pressure with my knee on the shoulder here, like that. And I'll make a hook with my foot right here up against his side, okay? And so now I can, play an open guard without having to worry so much that he's going to stuff this leg. Because remember, this arm is free. He's going to want to stuff this leg right here, all right? And I try to have a nice tight grip here. I don't usually, a lot of people will put a lot of tension on this arm. I typically don't. I like to just hold on to it nice and tight, but I'm not going to start pulling on it like this just yet. I will when I attack, but I typically don't start off by trying to pull this arm and stretch it out. When I do, what I've noticed is whenever I play open guard and I play collar sleeve, whenever I start to pull on this arm and start to stretch it out, my opponent starts to see, oh, my arm is getting stretched out, and then they start to yank this arm back. Yeah, they start to really defend. So I kind of want to give them the illusion that this arm's okay. Like they don't have to worry about it as much. And then when I attack, and then boom, I can start stretching it out, going to my different attacks, my omoplata, my triangle, my armbar. And those are the real main attacks from this open guard, collar sleeve attack position. You have your triangle, you have your armbar, and you have your omoplata. And there's some other positions that you can go to. And also what I like about collar sleeve is that it allows you to go into other positions. For example, if he decides to stand, go ahead and stand up. Look, I can play a collar sleeve with my opponent standing. And so whenever my opponent stands, very, very important here, And it's also when he's on his knees too, but certainly when he's standing. Without a doubt when he's standing. When I have collar sleeve, I can't just leave this foot on his leg. Because remember, his hand's free. Yes, he's going to stuff that, and he's going to possibly, fold me this direction and smash me and pass. And so right when my opponent stands up, I'm immediately putting my foot on the bicep here, on the bicep, or on the shoulder. Okay? Now, I'll be honest with you. I typically put my foot on the shoulder. And sometimes I even try to get it inside the collar right here because I have a little bit of, it seems like a little more leverage here. And I can kind of push him away and stretch out that shoulder. And it allows me to go into my attacks. But this is fine. If you like to put your foot on the bicep, this is fine as well. You just want to control that arm. And if you have control of this arm right here, then he can't stuff your foot. And that's the reason why, yeah, exactly, you kind of follow him around. So you can play with this, or you can just keep it up on the shoulder area. And then from here, I got a bunch of different attacks. So those are the basic principles. Go back to your knees here, and we'll start over. So I'll start off with my closed guard. I get my collar. I get my sleeve. I open my guard. I shrimp. I bring my knee on the inside here. Again, up against the shoulder. This foot is on the hip. All right? If he does try to stuff my foot, I hook here. So look, my foot's protected now. And then I can bring it on the inside. I can come right here, just like this. Okay? And now I'm ready to attack.